Hey Radical fans, today's Radical Rundown is we got a question about what does mid-lane read mean? It's the mid-lane and it reads. The ball reads the mid-lane. All kidding aside. There are three parts to a ball motion. It's skid, hook, and roll. Balls that skid too far have less mid-lane read because the mid-lane read comes with the hook part, the hook phase. For a ball to read mid-lane, it has to have enough skid, and then the ball has to have a long enough hook phase, and then a shorter roll phase. If a ball rolls too soon, it rolls out. It loses its power, it loses its energy. So getting a ball to read the mid-lane means that it has enough skid to get it to the right part of the lane. It has enough roll at the back end of the lane to go through the pins, but it has a big enough hook zone. And you want to get that hook window longer. So for instance, symmetrical balls have a longer hook phase. So they read the mid lane. Now, an asymmetrical ball could have a shorter hook phase. It could read the mid lane, but then roll out. So that's where you can't control the back end of the lane. It burnt up too soon, it rolled forward. So when a ball reads the mids, what you want to have is a ball that comes out of the spot, out of the skid phase, and has enough time to go into the hook phase. It's not too quick of a transition. If it transitioned too quick, then you shortened up your window on the back end of the roll phase. So you want to avoid too much of one and not enough of another. So the skid phase, the hook phase, and the roll phase have to match up to the pattern that you're on. You can change that by changing the bowling balls. You can go with an asymmetrical ball, which will probably have a shorter hook window and a sharper back end motion. The roll phase will be sharper and quicker. A symmetrical ball will have a longer, more gradual hook window and would read the mids better and have a more continuous motion down lane. They're less likely to roll out. So that's the problem is when your hook window is too short, that means it read the mids too soon, and your back end is now susceptible to roll out where the ball would roll forward. So a lot of times you want to change the phases of the ball motion. A lot of times you want to shorten the skid phase. By doing that, you can do it with surface. You hit the ball, scuff the surface a little bit, it'll shorten the skid phase, it'll lengthen the hook phase, and then maybe it'll shorten the roll phase. The problem is you have to be careful because you could end up shortening the skid phase, lengthening the hook phase, and have the ball roll out. So you can adjust that. By the same token, if the ball is hooking too soon, you can change the surface and lengthen the skid phase. By lengthening the skid phase, you would shorten the hook phase, and then you would also shorten the roll phase. And those are all tweaks you can do to the ball just simply to get the motion that you want. But mid-lane read is where the ball goes from skid to hook to roll. And the hook phase is the mid-lane phase. That's today's Radical Rundown. Subscribe to the channel. Put those comments below. We'll see you next week.